Salutations, dear viewers. You're on with Nexon of the Vast Nexus, and welcome to Let's Play another Metroid 2 Remake. Intro time. There's our girl. Yep, we're doing it. This is another Metroid 2 Remake, or AM2R. Now, the start of this Let's Play is going to be a little wordy, because there's some critical context that I have to provide for it. This, I am playing as opposed to the official and more recent Nintendo Metroid 2 Remake, on account of several reasons, which I'm not going to list because that would be a very long rant. But this game is very much worthy of being in my Metroid series. This game was worthy of a lot of praise that it ultimately did not get. And another point that I'd like to make is that, unlike Metroid Zero Mission, I'm not running this on the hard difficulty. The reason being is that this game was not exactly balanced for getting 100% completion within the 2-hour completion time. Now, fortunately, there's no, best ending for that. You can get a different ending screen based solely on time. Oh, that looks familiar. They're evolving. So I'm going to have to be lightning quick on this run if I'm going to get through in the 2-hour time limit. I even have to disrupt some sequences that I'm more familiar with in the interest of saving time. And I may not make the 2 hours. I will definitely make 100% completion. I need a morph ball more often because there's kind of a movement delay when you fall off of a gap, and these environments are very non-Euclidean. You get a lot of small ledges and stuff. But yeah, a bit of backstory about this game. This game was a fan creation made by Milton Guasti, or Dr. M64, and while there were a plethora of Metroid 2 Remake attempts by the fans, this was the only one that really held its weight. You know, where other ones came and went, AM2R, despite the tongue-in-cheek name, stuck it out and proved worthy of the Metroid title. In fact, it was so worthy of the Metroid title that Nintendo decided to slap not only the website that was supporting its development, but Milton Guasti himself with a DMCA claim. And that's just... Oh. Like I said, I'm not going to rant in this about how unfair I find that. Hit is slowing me down. Like, timing here is even more critical than when I was doing Zero Mission, because like I said, this game was not balanced for you to get 100% completion and make the completion time. Now this is version 1.5 of the game. The final official version was version 1.1, but it was still not a finished product. Version 1.5 includes both graphical improvements as well as bug fixes, which is why we're running it. Some of the enemy types just didn't look finished in version 1. So we're at the Golden Temple. And we're going to get our first power-up. Samus starts this little adventure with 30 missiles, and her ball ability already unlocked. This game also gives her the ability to use, power grip. She can hang from ledges and corners. It was basically a movement concession, because by that point people kind of expected it. Timing for me here is critical. I have to... The thing that's going to sponge the most time are the boss fights. That's what's going to really bust my time. Boss fights in this game are escalatingly no joke. There's our card lead. Ceiling gap that I'll probably never be able to reach anyway. So yeah, I think I've made 100% run another 2 hours in this game only once. And of course I have learned that my video timing is nothing to go on, because there's a little extra time here and there in menus and stuff like that. I think this will be faster. There we go. Yeah, you even move a bit faster than Samus's run when you're in morph ball form. That's kind of a Metroid Prime concession, because Samus has a lot of inertia. She can't accelerate or decelerate as much in Morph Ball when in Prime, but she does move much faster when she's at her full speed. And the Spider Ball, which is low. I normally use the Spider Ball for getting certain power-ups early, but we're not doing that this time around, because I think that's what kills my time. And usually I'm only like minutes over. It's so frustrating. Those guys, it takes up time as well. So yeah, there's a power-up up there that I would usually go for, but it's a big spider ball climb, and so we're not even bothering with it. Now, I haven't reduced in-game volume yet, so if I'm coming through a little faint, that's why. I'm still having volume difficulties. It's complicated. So actually, let's take the opportunity to check that out. There we go. That should do it. I don't know, getting my audio level just proves to be a bit of a chore. Again, I do have means of recording it separately, but compositing it over the video becomes a problem, and it's no fun. I don't know, maybe I'll try that next playthrough, but for now, I'm rolling with a system that hasn't let me down yet. This spider balling there is just fast for trying to get through all that, which is why we're doing it. Now, there are a bunch of codecs that we're unlocking. I'll probably read through them, or just, like, flip through them so you can pause the video once I'm out of the section. Oh, I hate these ones. There we go. Yeah, the dodgy ones basically take an extra rocket apiece. It's really annoying and kills your time. Sequence breaking here is far less attainable because this Metroid 2, the original Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, black and white Game Boy, by the way, not color or advanced. The original Metroid 2 was very linear, and it was set up that way so that if you had to play a section and then put it down, you wouldn't be trying to figure out where you were or where you were going. It was still pre-built-in map. So Samus's movement, you might notice, is even crisper than in her Zero Mission version, because we all like it when Samus can really bolt. So she's greased lightning right here. We'll be able to go even faster once we get the Shine Spark, and we can actually jump in Morph Ball form, but that's a ways off. Okay, so yeah, I need to use the save because we have a boss fight coming up. And an interesting one, because this game really didn't have bosses originally. I mean, you had Arachnus, and I suppose you could count the Metroids as bosses, but... And that's the Guardian. The Guardian is attacking us because it thinks we're thieves. We've stolen Chozo's stuff. Besides, another reason I'm doing this on normal instead of hard is that I will be doing probably a fusion mode run through this, and that's basically like a very hard difficulty, so we'll get hard done. We'll get hard, yeah. We'll get hard done, but right now, if I'm gonna actually make a play for 100% in under 2 hours, it has to be on normal. There's no chance I'm doing it any other way. Now, this is a sequence break I'm gonna do because the old bomb jump trick. Because I don't think I'll have to come back to this pass anyway, so might as well just get it done. Let's make like a ball and roll. I mean, you can see how smoothly in Morph Ball form she just zips right through all of this. Okay, that we can't get without high jump. So I'm going to take a moment to check our codex. So our mission briefing. Exterminate all Metroid organisms on planet SR-388. Locate and bring assistance to the Galactic Federation research and rescue teams. Planetary designation. Remote planet absent on most galactic charts. Federation research indicates it's the natural homeworld of the Metroids. Its outer crust is hollowed out with massive cave systems, which are home to an ecosystem that is yet to be fully studied. And the first expedition revealed Chozo Ruins. Massive cave system is located between two tectonic plates, largely flooded by an extremely dense and caustic substance similar to magma. Well, if it's not molten rock, it's not magma. Recent earthquake altered the cave layout, and the hazardous substance is drained to lower levels. Cause is unknown. There's no instability within the region. Declared SR-388 unsafe to initiate new expeditions. However, after recent orbital scans failed to detect any Metroid presence on that planet's surface, the dispatch of a research vessel was finally approved. The crew's mission was to inspect the region where the species was first encountered and reaffirm that none remained. Their next objectives were to explore the nearby Chozo ruins and study SR-388's other wildlife. Communication with the team was cut off, and only a distress signal managed to reach HQ. Search and rescue team is an elite combat group consisting of heavily armed soldiers. Their mission: locate and extract any surviving personnel from the research team. Group reported finding a specialized energy sensor at a campsite of the missing team. Its data confirmed the Federation's suspicions. Metroid still thrived within the planet. These findings were sent to HQ to be analyzed, while the group continued their search for survivors. Contact was soon lost with them as well. Now, unless you read the manual of the original Metroid 2, you didn't get any of this backstory. This is a nice addition. It's revealed other Metroids. Scan module for the power suit to detect Metroids nearby. Now, the Metroid species, the dominant species of SR-388, as they should be considering their existence is of galactic danger. Metroids hunt any form of energy found in natural or synthetic organisms, leaving behind desiccated husks after feeding. They are highly resistant to conventional weapons and possess great adaptability in foreign environments. Estimates suggest a small number of Metroids set loose on a populated world would lead to the extinction of any present life forms. As such, they've drawn much attention of the space pirates, who have repeatedly tried to use them as biological weapons. And they have a life cycle. Most common form, prior incidence, is merely the species' larval stage. While there are records of extreme mutations triggered by space pirates using abnormal stimuli, that's a reference to Metroid Prime. SR-388 is seemingly the only environment where the species can naturally transform. And the Alpha Metroid, immunity to cold temperatures. The loss of several nuclei within its green membrane has left it vulnerable to concussive weaponry. A plated exoskeleton partially covers it. The organism emerges from the molting of its larval form. Though aggressive, it is relatively weak at this stage, and its new appendages have yet to grow to their full length and strength. So what else we got? Chozo, the lost race. Colonize many worlds, spreading their message of peace throughout the universe. Historical records and legends of the Chozo, visiting other races with whom they share their knowledge and wisdom. Primitive cultures. I'm actually legit reading this instead of just flashing it on the screen for you guys, but this is the lore, guys. This is the story. I like lore. I mean, when I do Doom, I'm probably not going to provide this much lip service. Stationary robotic entities placed at strategic points throughout the structure to prevent grave robbers or something. The breeding grounds, custom-built ecosystem that favors the growth of Metroids. The terrain itself is dangerous. Tendrils growing along the ground release extremely corrosive chemicals. Opportunistic predators and scavengers can recognize this as an ideal feeding ground, taking advantage of injured or dead animals. The presence of at least one Metroid is expected when venturing in these habitats. The tendrils are determined to be artificial in origin, synthesized through technologically advanced methods. They absorb nutrients from dead matter. Native species, that you guys can pause and read, because they're a dime a dozen. And the Ancient Guardian. Stolen equipment. Hey. I'm the Chozo's entrusted one. I didn't steal anything. All their stuff belongs to Samus. There we go. That was a cheap and easy one. Thank you everybody so much for watching. It has been my genuine pleasure to entertain you with this section of AM2R. I hope you return for the rest, and I hope you'll consider supporting the channel. Until then, fare thee well.